All right, let's dive into one of the most mind-bending frontiers in all of science, quantum biology. We're going to explore this radical idea that the totally bizarre rules of quantum mechanics aren't just for super cold labs, but are actually at work inside living things. Yeah, including you. Let's get into it. For centuries, we've pretty much thought of life as this incredibly complex machine, right? Like a fancy clock, but a predictable, classical machine all the same. But what if that's not the whole story? What if, deep down, life is actually harnessing the weird, probabilistic magic of the quantum world to get a real evolutionary advantage? And this really gets to the heart of the whole puzzle. On one side, you've got our world, the warm, wet, chaotic world of biology. And on the other, you have the quantum realm, which, scientists have always had to study in these freezing cold, super isolated, and tightly controlled boxes. The two just don't seem like they should ever mix. So that brings us to the first major hurdle for this whole field, what scientists call the decoherence problem. For the longest time, the consensus was simple. Life is just too warm, too wet, and way too chaotic for any of those delicate quantum effects to possibly survive. I mean, just picture a living cell. It's this bustling city of molecules. They're constantly banging into each other in this warm, watery soup. So the old belief, and it was a really reasonable one, was that all this chaotic noise would immediately just shatter any fragile quantum state, like superposition or entanglement, way before it could do anything useful. The technical term for this whole process is decoherence. And what's just staggering is the timescale. It was predicted to happen in femtoseconds. That is a millionth of a billionth of a second. It's basically instantaneous. So for a long, long time, the idea of a quantum cell was a complete non-starter. But then, we looked a little closer at plants.
And this is right where that old paradigm just starts to crack. The first really compelling piece of evidence didn't come from some high-tech lab, but from one of the most basic and fundamental processes on Earth, photosynthesis.
So the first clue is just the sheer perfection of it all. Photosynthesis is nearly 100% efficient. That means that almost every single particle of light, every photon that a plant's chlorophyll grabs, gets converted into chemical energy. There's basically zero waste, and classical physics has a really, really hard time explaining how that's even possible. See, the old model imagined that photons' energy was kind of hawking randomly from one molecule to the next, almost like a drunk person stumbling through a forest trying to find the exit. If it worked that way, the energy should get lost, or it should get trapped, or it just take way too long. It doesn't add up to 100% efficiency. No way. But the quantum explanation? Oh, it's way cooler. It says the energy doesn't travel like a little particle at all. It acts like a wave. It spreads out, it exists in a superposition of being in multiple places at once, and it explores all possible pathways simultaneously to find the absolute most efficient route to its destination. It's like having a Google Maps of the entire forest, instantly. Okay, so how on earth does this quantum wave survive inside that noisy cell? For years, scientists went back and forth on this. They looked at purely electronic effects, but they're just too short-lived. Then they looked at the vibrations of the molecules themselves, but those don't really drive the energy transfer. The real answer, the key, is this brilliant mix of both called vibronic coherence. Basically, the protein that's holding everything together isn't just a passive scaffold. Its vibrations are perfectly tuned to protect and sustain the quantum wave, guiding it exactly where it needs to go. It is a perfect dance between the quantum and classical world.
All right, so plants are using quantum tricks for efficiency. That's wild. But what about using them to process information? This is where the story gets even stranger, and it takes us to the incredible world of migratory birds and their amazing internal compass. Now, to get this, we have to talk about something Einstein famously called spooky action at a distance, quantum entanglement. This is where two particles can become linked so their fates are intertwined. If you measure the state of one, you instantly know the state of the other, no matter how far apart they are. It's weird. So, the leading theory is that this entanglement is happening inside a protein called cryptochrome, right in the bird's retina. A photon of blue light comes in, hits the protein, and creates a pair of entangled electrons. They split up, but they stay linked. Their spins then start oscillating between two different states. And here is the absolute key. The Earth's ridiculously weak magnetic field actually influences how they oscillate.
This changes the final chemicals that get produced, and these different chemicals trigger the bird's optic nerve in different ways, creating a pattern that's literally superimposed on its normal vision, a visual map of the Earth's magnetic field lines. The bird sees the magnetic field. And look, this isn't just some wild theory. Recent genetic work has shown that the version of this Cry4A protein in migratory robins is actually different from the one in, say, non-migratory chickens. The robin's version seems to be optimized to protect that entangled state for longer, which is a huge piece of evidence suggesting that evolution has been fine-tuning this quantum device for millions of years. So we've got energy transfer, we have information sensing, but quantum mechanics gets even more personal. It's happening right now, inside our own bodies, powering the very enzymes that keep every single one of us alive. Take a look at this. This chart shows something that for a long time just baffled biochemists. Based on classical physics, they predicted that a certain enzyme could speed up a reaction by a factor of about 7. That's the first bar. But when they actually measured it in the lab, they found it sped up the reaction by a factor of 80. That kind of speed is just classically impossible. Something else has to be going on.
And that something else has a name: quantum tunneling. In our everyday world, if you want to get over a hill, you have to climb it. Same for a proton. It needs enough energy to get over a chemical energy barrier. But in the quantum world, it has a probability of just disappearing on one side of the barrier and reappearing on the other without ever having the energy to make the climb. It literally tunnels through, like a ghost walking through a wall.
And get this same tunneling trick might be the very reason we're all here. The Loden hypothesis suggests that the protons holding our DNA strands together can, just for a moment, tunnel to the wrong spot. This creates a rare temporary version of a DNA base called a tautomer. Now, if the DNA just happens to unzip for replication at that exact moment, the tautomer's weird shape causes it to pair up with the wrong partner. And the result? A spontaneous, permanent point mutation. The very engine of evolution might be driven by this quantum mechanical roll of the dice. So, what does all this mean? Where does this leave us? Well, it means we need to fundamentally rethink what life even is. And this new understanding, it's already paving the way for some absolutely incredible new technologies. This leads us to what is maybe the most profound insight of this entire field. Life isn't a victim of its warm, wet, noisy environment. It's a master of it. It has evolved to become what some are calling a decoherence engine. It actually structures the noise. It uses all those vibrations and collisions not to destroy quantum effects, but to control them, to sustain them, and to use them for a real functional advantage. And of course, once we figure out nature's secrets, what do? We try to copy them. We are already developing solar cells that mimic the hyper-efficiency of photosynthesis. We're building new navigation sensors that work at room temperature, just like a bird's eye. There are even quantum noses in development that can detect specific molecules just by their unique vibrations. So the big takeaway here is just, wow, biology is not just complicated chemistry. It's a sophisticated quantum machine, one that's been honed by billions of years of evolution to operate right on that mysterious, blurry edge between the world we see and the hidden quantum reality that powers it all. And that leaves us with the ultimate question, right? If we've only just started looking for these things, what other incredible quantum secrets has life hidden right under our noses? It's pretty clear the story of quantum biology is just getting started. Thanks for joining me on this one.